Welcome, be in the garden. Today I'm not at home, as you can see, I'm out and about today, but I thought I'd bring you with me just to show you what I'm getting up to for my garden. Remember, be in the garden is all about things to do with gardening, planting things and redesigning gardens and landscaping, but also simple things like sowing seeds and growing food. I mean, who shouldn't be growing food right now? We should all be growing food. Have you seen the price of food in the stores lately? So hey, I'll be talking about all things gardening. Today I'm in a garden centre up in Essex, and I just want to welcome you. So my name is Tossie. I trust you're well. I certainly am. Be in the garden. So this is where I am. I'm at Woodside Garden Centre. Their details are here. This is their telephone number. I wonder if I can just squeeze. It's 01268 747 888. It's a huge gardening pot. It's delicious. I've got a small version of this in my garden somewhere. I'll show you when I get home. This one here, oh my gosh, I love this. With that sort of ancient sort of look design to it. It's beautiful. And again, I'll show you that I've got some of these in my garden. My purpose today is really window shopping. Some people like to go clothes shopping. I couldn't think of anything worse for me. Clothes and handbags and shoes, that's not me. I like going window shopping in garden centres. This is one of my favourite ones in London. Honestly, it is. Have a look behind me. So they have things for every garden size. Windowsills, balconies, small gardens, large gardens, different themed gardens, bird tables, amazing. This time of year the birds are just, singing their glorious hearts out. And just giving them some water would be lovely. They have all sorts. All price ranges. There's definitely something for everybody in this garden centre. I love it. Morning. I won't put you on.
Oh, thank you.
Got half price pots here as well. I love these colours. Green is my colour. It's gorgeous. Beautiful. I think these ones are frost proof as well. It's quite important because we've had snow here in the UK recently, actually, and sometimes pots, if they've got little cracks, the water will seep into the cracks and then expand with the freeze, and then that's what cracks the pot. So these prices here are so reasonable. They're beautiful, they really are. And they could just look so decorative on a balcony or certainly in a garden anywhere. The shapes. Oh, I have to have one of these. I think I like this one so much. Let's have a look. I like the colours. I'm out and about. There's a big road behind me, so bear with me in terms of the noise, okay? But this here, this is beautiful. I love the colours. This is beautiful. This is what I was looking at. Don't you agree? It's glazed, this one. Handmade in Vietnam, it says. And for me, I think the price is really very reasonable. It's $79.99 for this pot here. Because remember, when you buy it once, it's so beautiful. It stays in the garden. You can plant it out, or you can just leave it as it is in the garden, and it makes such a decorative piece. There's all different price ranges here. There's something here that's £20, $19.99. Again, they're just beautiful. The larger ones. Oh, you have this massive one here. I'm not sure height-wise. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it? Because honestly, I'm just not a shoe person or a handbag person. This is what floats my boat. Okay, this one is £600, but it's about 4.5 feet tall. And that would just be amazing in a garden. I love this colour range here. This sort of turquoisey green. But hey, there's more. The famous blues. Again, beautiful. They have them in all kinds of colours and sizes and designs. I think I've seen my next pot that has to come home with me. This one here. I think this pot has to come home with me. I'm already in love. Okay, this one right here is on my shopping list. It's beautiful. The colour, the artistry. Anyway, like I said, I can't have that same feeling for shoes and handbags. But I absolutely do have that when it comes to garden pots. And they're all individual, they're all so unique. This one here, oh wow. The design, the shapes. They're so beautiful. Anyway, I've got to find other words apart from beautiful. They are though, they really are. Just amazing. Look at the additional design on this particular one here. It's lovely, isn't it? That would make any garden stand out. I think in gardens as well, you should consider, or certainly I would like to consider more, having large items. I remember when I first had my garden, I used to do small things, but I think these sort of large pots are such a statement for anybody's garden or on a balcony, for example. Definitely beautiful. Here we go. Here's one that you probably recognise. Yeah, in blue, the beautiful black. Imagine that with some lavender popping out of that. Or some sage. Herbs. Creating your own herb garden, maybe. Oh, I've just found another design that I'm in love with. Here we go. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Almost mosaic-like. That's splendid. Imagine having that with different herbs. You know, you just planted out different herbs in that one there. This beige one's lovely as well. I tend to go with colours that are neutral, so the beige is beautiful, but I think it might blend into the landscape too easily. So something like the blue, I think, might be for me more favourable, or when I'm doing somebody's garden. So this is so helpful, it really is. And then, you know, perhaps if you're going away for a couple of weeks or holiday, you can use the dishes to place underneath to capture the rainwater. Red is beautiful as well, isn't it? Again, imagine that with the colour greens, you know, lavender popping out of that, or different herbs, some rosemary, thyme. Now you're talking. Look, they mean it when they say that we specialise in big pots. This pot here, I could jump in there. I could, but then I might not be able to get back out, so perhaps I'll just stay here. This is awesome. This is awesome. I suppose the only problem I'd have here is that it wouldn't fit in my car, so I'd have to arrange for a few people to help me carry this. But if I could go home with a pot today, it would definitely be this one, as well as the others. This is the speckled effect. It's lovely. Doesn't that remind you of autumn? We're in February now, but that's a lovely colour. But this is gorgeous. I have some of this design actually at home already. So if I show you them here, then when I get back to the garden, my garden, I'll show you the ones I have. I have one similar to this. I just love this design. It's sort of made to look sort of ancient, sort of as if it's been found under sea. I have a similar one to this jug one as well, I think. I can't remember now. But I do love this particular design as well. Look. Beautiful. And I think sometimes, like this pot here, for example, I probably wouldn't plant anything in it. It's just a decorative piece that really would make the garden pop. And here's the blue version. I didn't see the blue one the last time I was here, but I really do like that too. I think you have to agree with me that these are just beautiful. There you go, for a nice balcony or a little corner of a decking, the square shapes as well. The good thing about these things is that you can just collect them as you go along. So at the moment in my garden, I've got one about this size, and I have the one I just showed you a moment ago, and I do intend collecting more. I love this tall one as well, so I could add that to my collection in the garden. Yes, this one looks familiar. I have 3 of them. I have this shape, definitely. I have this shape in my garden. I have this one in my garden, just by my pond. And I can't remember the other one, but I do intend getting some more, treating myself to some more. Something like this one. I think turquoise is one of my favourite colours as well, so anything in turquoise does it for me. And look what it looks like when it's planted out. I've got some examples. The bamboo is fantastic. One of the pots. And then of course as a garden centre they've also got, the composts and aggregates. I'll have a look at those later. These are stone, so these are really very heavy. I know that you can get some made in resin and such like this one, I think. Yeah, this one's in essence a plastic type, all sold. So somebody's going to be busy gardening. But these are great as well. I mean, the advantage of those is that they are frost hardy. And again, plastic, but made to look terracotta-like. They have statues at the back here as well. And huge terracotta. So huge terracotta pots. Bucket sizes. Let me just give you an idea of how big this one is. Size. They do it all. They do it all here. This is lovely. Slate. I've got some of this for my garden, so I've got some of this around my pond. 3 pieces for 20. And again, I mean, it lasts indefinitely, so for me, it's always money well spent because it just lasts forever. And then the different size pebbles as well. So I've got some of this around the pond area as well. In my garden. So different types of aggregates. Blue and pink and grey. All types that you can use in a decorative way around your garden. That's glass, by the way, so that's a decorative glass they've got here. So really they've got a wide range of selection that you don't find in the high road nurseries. I tend to prefer to shopping out. So I think you'll agree that there's a pot here for every garden. Every size, every style. And let me take you into the shop, into the store area. I showed you some of these earlier on, didn't I? Yeah, I do need another stone bird table, so let me just see which one I might go for. I've got an improvised bird table at the moment, but I do like these. Just wondering what might... Well, you tell me. Let's call them A on the far end. It's quite a large one. Which one would you choose? I like this decorative thing here actually a lot. And that one is £73. And again, I think is a great price because you buy it once and you have it for generations if you want, So that's not bad at all. I prefer it being higher than low down, only because for the safety actually of the birds. So if there are cats and foxes as we do have in our area, then being slightly higher off the ground, I think, will give them a better chance. So I definitely like this size. Yeah, that's another one going on my shopping list. That's another one. Is this Venus? Is this Venus? Let's see what Venus is doing. Let me pose with Venus. And can you see me? Welcome to Be in the Garden. I trust you're well. I certainly am. She's beautiful. Oh, I love the mirror. Now you know I love me some mirrors. So that is another thing on my shopping list. Then inside the shop here, they have more choice. These ones are resin, so these ones, or in fact, let me not say resin, so I'm not sure what they're made of, but they're not made of stone. Oh, at least I don't think they are. I believe they might be resin, but they're beautiful. Equally beautiful. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, look at that. 150, but this is about 2 feet tall. It's beautiful. Yeah, and a little water area here, maybe for the birds to pick up on. Yeah. Great, maybe some gifts for somebody. Now there you go, I like that one there, that tree. Hey, listen, if you've got a Japanese themed garden, then why not? And then of course you've got to have the wildlife things as well. You know, the bug hotels and the bird nests and bird boxes as well. That's lovely. Listen, I'm loving it here, I really am. So that's my shopping today, my window shopping, and I'll certainly be coming back to purchase some items. These are lovely. I think I saw them on the website. It's for the pair. $249 for the pair. They're lovely. So for those of you who are cat parents, they have a cat of their own here. I don't know the cat's name. I'll have to find out, obviously. Hey, good morning. Good. Oh. I want to say thank you so much. I'll put it off because I don't want to disturb you. It's on, yeah, let me just put it on stop. Hey, so I'm back in the garden, having gone to the garden centre this morning, as you saw. And this bush here is called Sarcococca confusa. It has the most delightful smell. And guess who really loves these? It's February and it's one of these early flowering plants. This is a plant to add to your garden. The bees adore it. There are quite a few bees out here already of all sorts. Bumblebees, honeybees. I can see one down inside here. There's another honeybee just gathering some pollen in there somewhere. I've lost her now. There we go, there's a honeybee. You see her there? This is Sarcococca confusa. I think I've spoken about this before in a previous video, but it really is a beautiful hedge or beautiful shrub, a beautiful bush, because it's February and it's already providing food, much needed pollen for the bees. The fragrance, the aroma on this hedge here is delightful. It really is. It absolutely wafts down much of the garden at this time of year. Besides, as you can see, we've got another plant here. This is jasmine. It doesn't look like much at all, but with the sarcococca here, it's an evergreen. So that's a win. That's a definite thumbs up. An evergreen plant. It does well in shady areas. So for those of you struggling to find plants that can do well in shady areas, it's a perfect plant for a shaded area. It needs no attention. It needs no attention. But this foliage here, evergreen, that's a win. And also great for shady areas. It really needs no help. This plant here needs no help. It will just flower year after year. I've got next to it some of the lavender, but I'll come back to that later on in the season, because at the moment, as you can see, it's quite dry, but we are beginning to see some new shoots. Here are a couple of the garden pots that I have in my garden, and these ones are you can excuse the cockerel in the background. We've got here, these are the glazed ones. They're looking rather tatty, a little untidy at this time of year. Like I said, it's just February, but we have got some tulips that are coming through, but they're beautiful once they flower in this pot. I just need to give it a little bit of clean down. I do need to give it a bit of a clean down. I have this huge terracotta bowl. It's huge. It's about 3 feet wide. But I've got some ericaceous soil in here, and I've planted some blueberries. I'll come back to those later on in another programme. In case you're wondering what this netting is, it's really just to prevent the foxes, the cats and the squirrels from going inside of this particular area, as they have done in the past. Over here, as you can see, my garden is very much in need of a tidy up, as most gardens do at this time of year. But here is a terracotta pot. It's a massive one, but unfortunately you can see the crack that's occurred here, and also the frost and the freeze that we had this year caused a part of it to break off. So earlier on, if you recall, I was talking about pots that are frost hardy, and then that will prevent this sort of thing from happening. So it's probably worth paying the extra little bit for a frost hardy pot. You would have seen this a couple of programs ago. The large, this one's resin, so this is a sort of plastic type pot, but again it's a large one here. I've actually got in here some hostas growing, and I've got some rogue daffodils that have come up, but I've got some beautiful hostas that will make their way out of there once the conditions are correct. And again, behind I have that fabulous evergreen plant, sarcococca. Okay, so here we are again, some garden pots. I was just giving them a bit of a wipe down. I've got in here some plants that need my attention actually. And just against the blue, don't they look lovely? Wouldn't you agree? The green and the blue. And these are hookeras, in case you're wondering what plant that is. These are hookeras, and they come in all different types of colours and shades. I have a burgundy looking one down here, then I have the lime marmalade one. Beautiful. And that one's a triangular one. This one's a triangle shaped one, and then I have a square pot down here. Again, just to sort of add to a corner of the garden, I have a few pots here. This is quite a decorative one. I have it just next to one of the mirrors. Yeah, beautiful, with the Scottish pebble. And I've got a small apple tree here. It's called a step over actually. It's my fault, I accidentally cracked this the other day when moving it around. But it's lovely, the detail in here. It's lovely. Yeah. I'll just have that beneath the hedge. Beautiful. I will have to come back and show you these pots later in the season when, one, I've cleaned them up, and number two, repotted them. I normally put some herbs in here, I do have some mint, so some mint is popping back out there, but they do look a little bit tatty, even if I say so myself. But this is this is where I collect the rainwater, some rainwater, but they're definitely looking on the tatty side. But I do intend giving that a clean up for, later on this season. Another one of the pots. There's sage in this one, but you can see middle of February, it's dry, it's died back. I will cut that back and sort that out at some point. And that's just next to my burner. This is one of the larger green ones. I currently have some tulips about to pop up in here, but I'm having a good tidy up of the garden at the moment. So this is another one of the flower pots. This is the glazed one. It's perfect for the whole of the winter as well. So it is a frost hardy. It won't crack. Okay. And I have the smaller version of it just beside. And normally I grow some herbs in this one. Oopsie. I have the smaller one. 2 sizes here. Okay. And here we have some of those pots I showed you earlier on. These are the smaller sizes, but they are beautiful. Remember, I told you that I do intend purchasing more and increasing the set that I have here as well. They're lovely. I have them beside my pond. So to me, they look as if they were once rescued from the deep, deep rivers and oceans and the seas. Don't they? They look as if they are treasure finds. And guess what's poking up behind it? Yep, even more sarcococca for my bees. And behind the edge of the pond, I have an old, I think it's a chimney stack. So I've just used that to store my plant holders. So you can use all kinds of things as ornaments in the garden, you know. So, I'm busy. I have things I'm going to do around the garden. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming along with me. I really do appreciate you. Do share it with your friends, your family, your neighbours, somebody that you know might be interested in learning more about gardens, because here in Beat in the Garden, it's all things gardening, outdoors, being in nature. And I just brought you along to show you some of the things that I've done in my garden, but I've got a lot of tidying up to do. February now, the weather is up and down. There's a lot to be getting on with in the garden, so I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment below. Which of the pots do I have in my garden that you like? Leave me a comment below. Which of the pots do you like the most? The colours, the shapes. What about a comment on what pot you like the most, or where you would place this in your garden or in your home? Sarcococca, are you familiar with that plant? Have you heard of that one before? Maybe you have. Maybe you would consider having that, especially if you're new to gardening and you're not so familiar with what plants to get. That one I would highly recommend. So, thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and do share. Thank you so much for watching.